flippantly, interviews are serious. So to start off with, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Mark Shear.
Toastmasters. Distinguished Toastmasters. Very well learned.
Glad you didn't give me that one.
Fellow Toastmasters, it is a beautiful time of life, more so than I can possibly fathom. I am on the back end of my career, right? I'm no longer 20, and I am not going to move through life in a flippant way anymore in any way, shape, or form. What am I going to be doing in 5 years? Things that I enjoy doing most, and I'm going to be doing them all day long, because I'm not going to be working any longer. I'm going to be heading over to the beach. You guys know I love the water, you guys know I love the waves. I'm going to be cycling all the time. I'm going to be spending as much possible time as I can with my daughters. And maybe then, I'll have some grandkids, which would be amazing. So I tell you what, life moves fast, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot waste any time in any way, shape, or form. Get up in the morning, get up at 5 a.m., do some reading, read some scripture, read some books, do some athletics. Don't waste it, okay? Because, man, it goes by like that. Well, Toastmasters, that's what I'm going to be doing in 5 years.
Hey.
What is your greatest weakness, and how are you working to overcome it? Toastmaster Carlos Benitez.
I love these questions because currently I'm a life coach working with the incarcerated. And the biggest need is for them to get a job when they get out. So when you're talking about interview questions, that's one of the biggest questions that they have to answer is their weaknesses. We give them an acronym. It's called SWOT. Write it down. What are your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? If you answer that you're lackadaisical or that you don't have a sense of urgency, then you must tell the interviewer how are you remediating that deficiency. So don't tell somebody in an interview that you're lacking something and you don't have a remedial answer for it, because that's the way it's supposed to be. They want to know, that's the test question. How do you fit in this job opportunity, this job position? And for most questions, you should be telling a story. So I have another acronym for that. It's called the STAR story. What was your situation? What was the task? What was the action? And what was the response? And guess what? You could use that for table topics also.
Wow.
Why should we hire you over other candidates? Toastmaster Blakeson.
I really don't want to be flippant about this question, but you didn't tell me what the job was. Maybe it has something to do with the job description I put in when I first found out about LinkedIn. Buddy of mine, Brian White's a project manager at Motorola in Chicago, birthplace of the new Pope. I'm telling you now. And he says, you need to get on LinkedIn. It's going to be great for your career. I'd never heard of it. So I put down as my job position, Chief Scotch Taster and Cigar Purveyor for the corporation of Motorola. About 4 years later, I went online and I wonder what's up with this LinkedIn. Oh my Lord. It was like all these people wanted to be my buddies. I mean, VPs and directors. It was like, I guess I better put my real job description in. But why would I be good at that? Why should I be the Chief Scotch Taster and Stogie Purveyor for Motorola?
Why?
I'm motivated. Thank you so much.
Tell me about a time you disagreed with your boss and how you handled it. Toastmaster Tim Conyers.
Well, thank you very much, Madam Table Topics Master.
Yep.
I have learned not to disagree with the boss. You don't do that if you want to move up. And of course, the corporate ladder is what it's all about. Moving up, 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 right? I know these questions, I've heard them before. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Having your job to the interviewer. Don't get pregnant. The other one is independently wealthy, so I don't need to work here. The one that I hate the most is, so tell us, why do you want to work here? And I want to say, I don't know if I want to or not. Tell me why I should want to work here. I suggest using that one to see what happens.
How would your previous coworkers describe you in 3 words? Toastmaster Roy Shear.
Thank you very much. Could you increase the decibels so I can hear that?
How would your previous coworkers describe you in 3 words?
That's not so.
Out of work. Got 20 seconds left. First that was unnecessary flippant. Unnecessarily flippant. I heard later on that after I'd retired, one of my supervisors, one of the other employees asked my supervisor, so how are we going to deal, how are we going to fill the void now that Roy is gone? Boss said, Roy didn't leave no void. So I gave up on bosses, so I decided to work for myself. And I had a horrible leader at that point in time. No, life has been good to me, and in some part, I think I've been good to life, and I can't see how many lights we have on. But thank you so much for that.
What are you looking for in your next role? Toastmaster Johanna Fonseca.
Joanna.
Joanna.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is my first table talk.
Ooh.
And there's so much to remember when you're talking. You have to remember the word of the day. You have to remember prosody, intonation, don't get buzzed. So much that I forgot the question. Can you please repeat it?
What are you looking for in your next role?
Well, right now, I'm in between roles. I left my teaching job of 13 years that I worked with the public school system to become a PhD student to hopefully become a college professor. So I don't want to be flippant during this time. I want to come to Toastmasters and learn how to become more of a speaker so that once I become a college professor, then people can hear me and understand me. Thank you.
What's the biggest risk you've taken professionally? Joanne Vasquez.
Yeah.
Joanne.
The biggest risk I've taken professionally has been to jump in on the roles in my, at the office that have become available. Things that I have no idea about. Sometimes we have a project at hand and they're like, who can take the lead on this? And I'm like, sure, I'll do it. I have zero idea. One example is when we started our lead program at our firm. Zero idea about how leads came in, how the internet worked at that time. And sure enough, I started our lead program and it was successful and I was very proud of myself. And I learned how to say yes more because I didn't want to take that task very flippantly in my progression at my career. So, thank you, Toastmasters.
Describe the type of boss that you'd like to work for. Toastmaster Ashley Castano.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters.
Good morning.
The type of boss I would like to work for is somebody who is open to innovation, creativity, open to feedback, whether it's constructive or very serious. I would like to work for a boss who grows me professionally, personally, professionally development, and that's actually why I'm here today, is one of my bosses suggested Toastmasters, and I was actually very nervous about it. We do presentations all the time at work,
And I didn't want to continue down the path of not being able to do those presentations eloquently. So here I am, doing my first table topic in front of all of you, nervous as all get out, but I'm here.
How do you handle stress and pressure? Toastmaster Stephanie Rosario.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters.
Morning.
Hello. How do I handle stress and pressure? Well, this is a great question for me. A lot of my life, I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know what to do to handle those situations as they come in daily. And recently, I would say in the last 4 years, I have learned that exercise and mental health is where it's at. So I went on a really a journey with myself. I celebrated 150-pound weight loss this week.
Wow.
Yeah, that was just me. So did that, and it really it took me back to the gym and back to my mental health. And I do minimum 10-minute cold plunges a day, every single day of my life. And I make sure that I do yoga and I keep up with the mental health because it's really about that.
Very
The
good.
mental and then the physical. So that is how I handle stress.
Excellent.
and pressure.
Describe a time you went above and beyond for a customer or a colleague. Toastmaster Daniel Day Wallace.
Daniel Day.
The time I went above and beyond, I'm trying to become less flippant. You know,
Work you.
that's what,
From the camera.
well, I'm sorry.
That's the best side.
That's what a Vente coffee cup would look like to Shaquille O'Neal.
Nice job.
Thank you. And normally, my good friend Tim Conyers is one of the nicest, calmest people I've ever met. He was so flippant in his delivery. When I've just worked twice now, so please note that. So we went above and beyond for one of my customers. Well, I first identified what was in it for me. And once I decided that it was good for me, I went way above and way beyond.
You did.
What are your salary expectations? Toastmaster Karen Schwartz.
Good morning, Toastmasters.
Good morning.
Like with salary should be talked about more. In fact, the girls that I work with, we were all hired within a 6-month period, and we all are within a year of age, and we all know each other's salaries. For better or for worse, I mean, sometimes you're like, I was hired after this person, and I know they make more than I do. But then, it's also good to know when you go into salary negotiations for your reviews or even those off-cycle reviews that you may or may not get a promotion. In fact, I did get a promotion in February on an off-cycle, so that was exciting. And I do actually contribute that a lot to Toastmasters. So thank you guys, everybody here, for helping me get the confidence to be better at speaking in project team work. So thank you.
If I called your last manager, what would they say about you? Toastmaster Alex.
McGriff?
I agree. We agree.
McGriff.
Come on out.
Come on, Hollywood.
Can you repeat the question, please?
If I called your last manager, what would they say about you?
My last manager,
Give him 2 minutes.
it was a she, by the way. What she would say about me? Oh, yeah. Alex, that Alex. He's tall. He's dark. He's handsome. Not too flippant about work. Well, he gets the job done.
Yeah.
And what he required for a salary expectation? $300,000 a year. Is it too much? Hey, lady, you call me. But my last manager will tell you I am hardworking, I am playful, I try to ease the environment. Me personally, I get bored real fast, so I have to be in a position where it's always different, like sales or just anything different every day, not stagnant, you know? But other than that, I have good things to say. Thank you very much.
Tell me about a time you failed and what you learned from it. Toastmaster Chris Eklund.
Okay, the time I failed and what I learned from it. Well, that's fantastic. And I don't want to be flippant, but I will start with a flippant remark, which is don't fall on your face. Luckily, there's no stage here, but I recently watched someone literally get on the stage and fall on their face and get injured. So I'm off to a good start, right? Don't fail. Well, the time I didn't fail, or the time I did fail?
And what you failed and what you learned from it.
I failed to get the right price for a customer. You know, sometimes the match just isn't the right match. Everybody has their own market. You learn from it by going to find someone you can help, because it's all about helping someone, helping their life be better. And I think also what you learn from these interview questions, you fail at one interview, you succeed at another, it's to get to the second interview, right? Because the first interview, you don't want to be flippant about it. You don't want to just not take it seriously. But really, the first interview is to get to the second interview. I mean, they just want to make sure you have a brain and a heartbeat, right? The second interview is where you have your vision. How am I going to accomplish? How am I going to win? How am I going to be the person they want, ultimately? Thank you.
All right.
What achievement are you most proud of in your career so far? Toastmaster Carmelo Velarda III.
Low WPTM. Achievement in my career?
Yeah.
Staying alive. My first job, I was in a liquor store. I was 16. You never had to join AA, so I think that's... You probably should have though. Too bad. I beg your pardon. That was a flippant comment. And even if it's true, I was just my personal business. I hope you don't do that with people's finances. Totally forgot what I was about to say.
I'm sorry.
Fail. If you're going to fail, fail forward. So that person walked on the stage, fell forward. I'll bet they never do that again. And everybody in the audience learned you can still fall on your face and still have grace. Right? Stress and pressure is created in your own mind. That's what I think. And what will I be doing in 5 years? Hopefully the same thing I'm doing now, remembering every single moment. Because you know how people say, oh my God, this week has flown by. No, it hasn't flown by. There's 24 hours in every day. There's 60 minutes in every hour. We just disregard it. So we need to start paying attention to this moment. I forgive you, Charles.
Why do you want to leave your current role, Toastmaster Yuki Dow?
That's a very good question. Right?
Moving up.
Why do I want to leave a current role? Well, currently I'm doing treasury here. I recently graduated from UCF. And I love these topics, by the way. I'm an absolute demon on LinkedIn. I have like over 500 connections. I have a job lined up in August that actually pays me. But yeah, make sure to follow me on LinkedIn. Tell people how good of a treasurer I am, so I could stand out to recruiters. Thank you, guys.
All I have on my list.
Keep going.
All right. What's your approach to working on a team, Toastmaster Meredith.
Meredith.
Meredith Myers.
I think that's the only way to work. For me, I love being part of a team. That's why I've shown up to the executive board meetings for this club, because it's a team that has a shared mission and they want to make this club better. I am thankfully, after looking for a job for 10 months, it's exhausting. Triggering question, just a little. I have a job that I go to every day, and I am not meaning to be flippant about the questions I think I'm beauty. They are fabulous. I have a team that I work with. I applied for another job yesterday, and my husband watched me do it, and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I just don't think I know how not to keep applying for jobs." So thank you very much. Great question.
What's something not on your resume that you think I should know? Toastmaster Benjamin Urrutia.
The present sentence.
Good morning, folks.
Good morning.
How many things I usually do not write on my resume? For example, I am a CIA agent. That is supposed to be kept secret, especially when I travel around the country. I'm always down here. And there's a guy that doesn't look good. I think it's a favor. Send to more people because it's about to blow up a building. So that is one of the things that I don't write. Well, usually in the resume, you like positive things, and especially you build up your resume geared toward the position and toward the company. Sometimes when you're looking for employment, you have 2 or 3 resumes, and which one do we send that may fit? So this is one of the important things, that you really address the need, and as long as you're not flippant about what you're doing. Thanks.
Last one. How do you prioritize when you have multiple deadlines approaching? Toastmaster Kathleen Lecado.
You don't want to get into it? What was that thing?
How do you prioritize when you have multiple deadlines approaching?
Multiple deadlines. Well, I haven't done that in a while, but especially since I'm retired, I've been super bad at it in organizing my time. I was more organized when I was teaching because you didn't have a choice. You had to teach every 45 minutes. You had to be prepared, so I would have my lesson plans along the week. So now I find it harder to organize my time because I'm not as structured. But if I do have a deadline, I'm a big procrastinator. But I will get it done, either the day before or the day of, but it will be done. So that's why nobody has ever been mad at me, because I do get it done eventually. So that's how I deal with my time.
Thank you all for your time. We'll get back to you, in peak.
Time.
Oh, yes. Timer, did all qualify?
Apparently.
All right.